You did mention a little bit that, okay, so you were bigger than most of the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. So, were you like always physically bigger and taller than most kids?
Yeah.
All the way through elementary, intermediate, and high school?
Yeah, I was always the tallest.
Got it.
And but okay. So Drew, you appreciate this, right?
Yeah.
So I was the tallest in terms of Hawaii,
Yes.
right? Like, we're not really tall, right?
Yeah.
Like, when I'm 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I was always taller than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I was skinny growing up, but like anybody that's taller than 5'11", bro, you playing center as a basketball player, you know? And I can't, bro. Okay, another basketball story. Freshman year, I was at Koku. I played varsity my freshman year, basketball. And we went to the Iolani Classic, Koku. We went to the Iolani Classic, bro. And I think it was Montrose Christian. I think that was the school,
Okay.
Montrose Christian. All I remember was that was Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Kevin Durant played for that team, and it was Kevin Durant's senior year or whatever. Like, he was a star. I didn't know who Kevin Durant is. You know, football, like Hawaii, we don't really know anything about basketball. Like, it's all about football. So we're over there, right? And layup lines in Hawaii is layup lines. Like, we lay up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't dunk. And some guys can dunk.
Yeah.
You know, some guys, like the basketball players, they can dunk. Like the volleyball basketball players, they can dunk, but nobody really dunks in Hawaii. You know, matter of fact, there was a rule that if you dunked at pregame, it's a penalty. I remember they say don't touch the rim, don't hang on the rim. So a lot of us would lay up and slap the backboard, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, like I can touch the backboard, you know. And so we're playing Kevin Durant's team, and we're in layup lines, and all I remember hearing is this big boom, boom, and the crowd just go, oh, and another one, boom, oh, and I'm like, what the heck? And I remember we're at half court, and like we're in the layup lines, bro. And I remember I turned and I looked, bro, and Kevin Durant and his whole team, bro, is like throwing it off the backboard, windmill, boom, like just dunking. I'm like, oh, it's over, boys. Like, we've been to get killed over here, bro. But you know, like, I was always taller than my peers here. But in the grand scheme of things, like, I was just a normal kid. You know, I was average age, average all of that. But one of the benefits to that was I always played with older kids. And that was one thing that my parents always did. They always had me play up in age. And I took my beatings early, you know, but it benefited me in the long run, because eventually you're going to play against kids your age, you know, when I got into high school, like I started, and you have that skill development. I wouldn't say like as far as being technical in skill development, but this maturity that can only be taught from the failures that you experience by going against kids that's just like older than you know?
That is so true. I mean, everything that you're saying, there's so many points that we can elaborate on and pull out, but that's actually interesting, because if anyone thinks about being a freshman in high school, you're really not exposed to much. So for you, being a freshman at Kahuku and seeing like Kevin Durant and all of these seniors and stuff dunking, I would be the same way. Like, what is this? Because we never saw that before, right? You hardly see seniors dunking in the state tournament. You know,
like, oh, cool, dude. You know, like,
exactly. So it is something different, and I like. We'll touch on this later, but when you start to see what the capability is, then that really elevates. Like, okay, the ceiling's not here anymore. It's way up here. This is what I gotta shoot for. Yeah, that's one of the big things. But that's an interesting story. The other thing that you mentioned is like, we always talk about this, but we ain't never gonna learn anything if we always have success. You're not gonna figure out what to change or what to improve, right? Success is great, and yes, we're working and striving for that, but it's all the times that you didn't succeed, like those track meets, all of these other instances, that's when you probably grew the most, you know?
And but at that time you don't realize it, you know, as a kid you just see failure, you know, and it's hard for a kid to digest that, you know, but that's when the parents everywhere, like, that is where you have to come in, because there are so many times where I thought I knew, But my dad would be the one to say, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
You're not going there. You're not going to that movie. You're not going to the beach. You need to come here. You need to do this. And as a kid, like, we think everything's unfair. Like, but my friend gets to do that. How come he gets to do that and I can't do this? Yeah. And so parents, I'm not going to tell you how to parent your kid. But I will say this. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for my parents telling me no. Yeah. If it wasn't for my parents to pick up where I couldn't. Like, they would tell me, like, hey, this is why you're experiencing this. This is why I stuck you with the big kids. You know, because it's easy for a little kid to look at, man, like, these kids are 4 years older than me and I'm getting drilled. Like, this is unfair. You know, like, why are you putting me through this? But it was my parents who came in and told me and encouraged me to keep going, that helped me to understand, like, okay, I may not understand in the process, but in the end, when I look back, I'll understand. Yeah. So it's about pushing your children in this space from here to here, so that the little amount of success you experience at the end, they would understand why they had to travel this. Yes. You know, and so it's not just the kid. You know, it's the parents. It's the home. You know, I and again, like how we talked about in the beginning, I was very, very blessed and fortunate to grow up under a roof that I was raised in, and the type of family unit that I had. So that had a lot, if not most, to do with my success on and off the football field.
Yeah, definitely a lot of success on and off the football field.